You remember the old days when you went to buy a coffee, the most difficult decision you had to make was whether you wanted black or white. You remember that?
True.
Yeah. And then in the 70s, we had what I call the decaffeinated revolution. So now you had to decide, do I want black or white, or do I want decaffeinated or caffeinated? It was already becoming pretty complicated. And now when I go to buy a coffee, I have to peruse some menu, hanging up there with its rows and columns like a spreadsheet, and I remember the first time I was queuing behind somebody and I heard this new coffee terminology. There was a young lady, and it came to her turn to be served, and she said, "Can I get a skinny latte? Can I get a skinny latte?" And I remember thinking that was, at the time, that was the shortest sentence in the English language that I didn't understand. But obviously we were queuing, so I had a bit of time. So, well, I can deconstruct this, I know my languages. So, can I get? That must mean, do I have your permission to retrieve? Okay. And skinny, I presume that means thin. And latte, well, that's close enough to the French word for milk, isn't it? So I thought, well, okay. So this young lady, what she's obviously asking is, do I have your permission to retrieve some milk, which is thin? So I thought she was perfectly polite, right? So I thought the guy behind the counter would say something like, "Yes, of course," meaning permission granted, or "No, certainly not," presumably which would mean permission denied. But instead of that, you know what he said? He said, "Tall?" Yeah. And I remember thinking, well, she's already told you it's thin. What do you want to know if it's tall for? I thought it was a bit impertinent. And now, of course, now we got to the stage where, I was having coffee, for example, with a friend in the city yesterday, and he's got onto all this, what's your favourite, by the way?
Or single mochaccino.
Oh, okay. I haven't had one of those, right? Anyway, he was looking at the menu, and he said, "I'll have a skinny Tai Chi ginger latte with a extra shot and a caramel squirt." So I said, "Do you want a banana in that?" He said, Don't be silly." I said, "Well, you started it." Now, the reason I asked you about the sort of coffee you like, have you ever had a flat white?
All the time.
Oh, well, he put me onto flat white, and said, "Try it." So I said, okay. It was up there, £2.40 flat. I had no idea what it was. It was a recommendation. £2.40 for a flat white. And the girl said, "Do you want to drink in, or take away?" So I said, "Oh, I think we'll drink in. It looks quite a nice place." So that's £2.70. So I said, "Well, it says £2.40 up there." And she said, "Well, those are our takeaway prices." So I said, 7.5? So she said, "What do you mean 7.5? I said, "Is that the font size you used to put up the words takeaway prices on your menu?" Anyway, after that experience. Oh, by the way, she said, well, I keyed it in, because I cancelled. I'm not going to pay £2.70 for a coffee, it's ridiculous. So she said, well, I keyed it in now, I'll have to void the transaction. I said, well, please void away. Think of it as training, because I run training courses. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what I used to do, which is just go up to the counter and say, "I'd like a white coffee, please." And they always say to me, "Oh, you mean an Americano?" And I say to them, "Listen to me. Vincenzo,